Good evening. It's 9:04 p.m. It is. It's hard for me to see the calendar. I've already made a video earlier today. It's June 4th at 9:04 p.m. I'm sitting here on Tuesday evening and I'm making another video. So it's been a few hours since I posted my first video, and what did I do today? Oh, you know what I did today? I did a little of this and a little of that. I watched a few of the, just a few YouTube videos. I only stayed online for maybe about 15 minutes. I really wanted to, just kind of do a couple of other things. And then, of course, I pulled out my cards and did some reading. And then I did some meditating. And then, this, that, and the other thing. Tomorrow, I need to work on something that's going to just kind of help me in my concentration a little bit. And what I mean by that is I want to kind of break away and do something a little bit different. Pull out some of my arts and crafts and maybe make something before I get into my content creating for this month. And I think the main reason why I put off my content creation this month is because we all know that I'm dealing with a lot of stagnation. And I think that this message is very important that I want to talk about because I'm dealing with so much frustration in the aftermath of what I was actually going to just start using his name. And the reason why I was just going to start using his name is because we know that Libra 14, whatever happened to him, okay? And really, I don't care. But the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm not trying to blow an issue up. I just want to move on with my life. So the thing is that, we know that there's been a lot of problems and frustrations with my Patreon account. And I do believe that what's causing me the frustration is obviously I have things I need to take care of, right? I have like bills I need to take care of. And because of number one, we need to start and think about the root of the problem. The root of the problem is that I was a targeted individual based on this experiment. This is what got his attention in the first place. I am referring to Libra 14 and of course a few of the other people that jumped on the bandwagon. Okay. The reason why I was being exploited, the reason why I was being bullied is all because, and the reason why I don't care, Justin Hayward thought that he could do what he could do. I slipped that up, but it doesn't matter. Too bad I said it, and he was messing with me, so he deserves to be, his name to be thrown out. The thing is that he knew, what was it? He was basically bullying me or thinking that he had some sort of advantage over me, mainly because there were other people who made him feel that way, and mainly because he was coming at me with that mindset of somebody who was participating in the experiment or somebody who was influenced by that experiment. Okay, and this is the reason why he did what he did. Okay, which means that to me, hey, when you were that whole experiment that was going on at that time, that means that the majority of the people, in my opinion, were in like this demonic state of mind. And mind you, I'm not going to think for 1 second that people are still not dealing with mind control. Now, what I mean by that is there's a lot of people who are multiples, okay? Whether this relates to this issue or not, it's the fact that people have split minds, okay? And this is one of the reasons why we had all these people being stupid, doing stupid stuff, thinking they had an entitlement, and literally participating in human trafficking and thinking that I had no rights. Like, the way it was going, it was almost as if, that somebody could do something this horrible to a person out in public sector and have that kind of participation. It is absolutely shocking to me. Now, I know that, and I've mentioned this before, okay, and this message is going to be directed towards, people like Capricorn 9, Scorpio 20, Gemini 14, okay. I understand that when I meditate on this issue, Libra 14 keeps popping up. Everybody's kind of like pointing the fingers at each other, okay? And I'm not interested in hearing the pointing the finger game or anything, but it only makes sense and it's logical, okay? Now today, this kind of coincides with everything. I did do a video about law, not so much laws. It was more like, the systems of government, what covers people's rights. And obviously, what happened to me, especially when we're talking about the issue relating to Justin Hayward, that violated my rights. And this is what's so shocking. To me, this issue is outright shocking. Period. It is shocking. Okay? That so many people could, number one, not know this what the foundation of this country was built upon, okay? But number two, assist someone in what I look at as a form of rape. Now, he knew good and well that I wanted nothing to do with my brother. He knew how I felt about this issue, but still insisted on tagging along, being a part of my life, thinking that he was some sort of business partner with me. I mean, this whole thing really, 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 really bothered me. It really bothered me. Okay, for months. Okay, so it's been a very long time since I created my channel. Okay, and I am not dumb. Okay, and the reason why I'm bringing up the fact that I'm not dumb is that I am a very high profile person, okay, and I understand that there's a lot of orchestration that goes on behind the scenes because there's this stupid competition that you guys want to be in. And mind you, it could have been mainly based on the experiment, okay? I did mention in my earlier video about a lot of clones being at one point in their existence, perhaps in their past lives, okay, of being rivals, okay, with like, your family, whatever, okay. You have to understand, I, as Prince Alamehu, that was never my intention, and it's never been my intention now. Okay, I have never had any sort of desire. Like, before I even knew I was involved in this issue, I don't ever recall me sitting here thinking about, how I could, like, get revenge or try to be like you guys or try to, like, it never came in across my mind. And still, to this day, I don't sit here and think about, let me compete with these people. I don't care. I really don't, okay? But what I do care about is moving on. And, I had mentioned this before, and I was giving a lot of thought to it today, about the problems that Justin Hayward caused on my attempts with Patreon. So it makes logical sense. It makes logical sense, okay, that the message, the readings I'm getting is that I did an outstanding job on Patreon. Okay, and this is true, and I think a lot of people know this. They know this, okay? And just like all these little covert games that they like to play, I'm not comfortable with the covert nature of it, okay? Which I've made this very clear before. If something is mine, then it needs to be shown, okay? And the very fact that this has been going on, I sent an email to Patreon. I think it was like on the 12th of this month, last month, okay? All this time is just like going by so fast, okay? It's going by so fast. But I sent an email on the 12th, okay? And the reason why I'm saying it's going by by so fast is because that was the 12th of May. Now it is June, okay? Now, of course, I opened up my channel in the month of October or November. I think it was last fall, okay? So it's been about 7 months, okay? 7 months, okay? And everybody knows who I am. I've been targeted. I was blacklisted. People know who I am. I'm not dumb, okay? Especially, I have memories of me being on Facebook, and I mean, what I mean by this is like, I know the circus show that was made out of me, meaning like people were targeting me, people were trafficking me, people were watching me, and I do understand that you guys were the orchestrators of it, or at least a part of it, right? So it's not like you're not aware. And I understand there's a lot of psychological manipulation that you guys were skilled at because of this experiment, okay? And by me expressing my feeling about what's going on over at Patreon, to me, I feel as though when I deal with that sort of deception, that it's nothing more than an extension of that sort of deception that was alongside of the experiment. Meaning, like, at this point in my life, I am not playing any head games. I'm not playing I don't want to play those games. And anybody who makes any attempt to deceive me in the smallest of ways, okay, I am going to separate myself from these people. And it's understandable, okay? Because when you've dealt with somebody who's psychologically traumatized you for the duration of time that I've experienced, it only makes logical sense that I don't want anything to do with it. Now, my rights are were discussed in this video. Now, I believe that somebody thought that I had some sort of relationship with Justin Hayward at one time, which I did not. I've never had a formalized relationship. He did talk about seeing each other on communicating with each other online, thinking about perhaps maybe having a relationship at a distance. He talked about that a lot, okay? Or mentioned it like a once or twice, okay? Especially like last fall, okay? So obviously, since we were in communication with each other, that must have been his idea or hope, okay? But I have never ever given him authorization to be a part of that. I never gave him any authorization to Patreon to disclose any public information about how much I made, but yet it tends to be public knowledge, right? And I'm being mindful and respectful because I understand the injustice that I've dealt with. Now I've got people like Scorpio 20, I've got people like Gemini 14. When I do readings, they all want to say they want to be my friend, okay? Let me tell you something. I am not interested in being people's friend if they are interested in deceiving me in the slightest of ways. Okay? So this right here is, I feel like, even though when I bring up this issue in my mind and I'm meditating on it, I know everybody wants to point the finger at Justin. Everybody wants to point the finger at Justin. But I know everybody had a hand in it. Now, from what I understand from my readings, is that there's some sort of organization. It's been going on too long. Okay. Now the thing is, I know what people wanted was they wanted to hide their identity, and I had mentioned this before. Okay, I had mentioned the fact that these people being, you guys being concerned about you hiding your identity while I'm sitting here scrambling, losing my car is getting repossessed, I'm dealing with all these financial problems, and it's always about the comfort level of everybody else except for me. Okay, this is the mentality of what? The experiment. Okay, when people disregard me, this is all this form of the experiment. I'm done with the experiment. Okay, and anybody who thinks that they're even just the slightest amount comes and talks to me, just even comes to me thinking that they're going to speak to me in a certain way, I'm cutting them off. Okay, because it's for my own good. Okay. Now the issue that's going on with Patreon, I understand I had split my accounts. I did $10 for the pawn membership for people who don't care about their emails being shown. Okay. And then I also did $15 for you people who didn't want your email addresses shown, which, mind you, if you guys really cared about me, you were really interested in being my friend, you would have simply just changed your email address instead of making me deal with all of this, right? So obviously, and this is why I feel uncomfortable with you guys, because you never show that you have my best interest at heart, ever. Okay? So, and I'm being direct and I'm being honest, okay? And this is just how it is, because Maria needs to regroup and she needs to re-strategize her plans. Okay, I am in no way walking away from Patreon, especially since I vested so much in it. It has my assets associated with it. Okay, there is no way for me, and I also know that there is no reason for me to do a whole lot of excess advertising, mainly because I'm a targeted individual and everybody knows exactly who I am. CB Braganza, they know I'm an occultist, they know everything about me, they've been following me for years. Everybody knows who I am. Okay, so when I deal with this sort of mind manipulation of any kind, okay, and then you guys all know, and it's all been agreed upon, every single last person, whether I've been involved in it or not, that the experiment is over. Okay, the experiment is over. Okay, and I know that Justin has been gone at least for about a month, okay, because I'm looking at, this happened like sometime around me leaving, actually longer than that. This happened sometime, him leaving took place sometime around April. And the reason why I know that, and the only reason why I remember that, is because I was looking through one of my emails on a new email account that I have, and I was looking at the time that I closed out Rumble. Now I made a video about my frustration of what Justin Hayward was doing and posted it on Rumble. Okay, and the reason why I did that is because I noticed that there were some issues that this particular Rumble was messing with my account, just like everyone else was. And why? Because this was at the instruction of Justin Hayward, asked it as if I was some sort of partner with him. I'm not a partner with Justin Hayward. I'm not a partner with anybody. Okay, and I know it had a lot to do with bullying me because of my clothes, bullying me because of how I present myself. And you know what? Today's video kind of goes into that. Okay, I have every right to do these sort of things. I know that I'm able to generate a lot of income, or decent income, I should say. And my need to do so is realistic. Okay, I also talked about the laws that cover people being obstructed, and or people taking things that are not yours. The fact that I have natural, what do you call it? Natural, what was that? Natural laws, natural. I forgot. I'm getting tired. But anyway, it had something to do with the Declaration of Independence, right? We were talking about the ineligible rights. That's what I'm talking about. Rights. The word R-I-G-H-T. I'm so tired. I can't even think. Okay, so we were talking about that. It is my right to do that. Okay, now I know some men like to do this to women, mainly because this is their way of financially exploiting them. Meaning, like, if a man feels as though a woman's not taking care of herself, then he can keep her where he wants her. Okay, then they feel like, okay, well, there's no, and he wasn't doing it mainly because he was like so in love with me, and I wouldn't be with somebody who does that sort of stuff anyway. But he was doing it mainly because if I stayed in a situation, he can financially exploit me. This is what a lot of men do, and some people try to make it sound like it's a righteous thing for women to stop taking care of themselves when they get in relationships, but that's the main reason why they do it. They do it because they want to control the woman, and generally it's because of a partnership that relies upon some sort of monetary gain for that person. That's abuse. Okay, that right there was human trafficking. Okay, I continue today, and I sit here and I do readings about this issue all the time. Should I move on? Should I? The fact is, you guys, and I'm talking to all of these people that I addressed in my video a while ago. The thing is, and I'm being honest, how I feel about you guys. I don't have any trust in you guys. Okay, I don't have any at all. Okay, because this went on for the duration that it did. Okay, and I also, it's very hard for me to feel comfortable with anybody who would even think that this was normal, or when I'm referring to the experiment, that you would actually think that any part of this was normal at all. Okay, and since Justin Hayward has been gone since April of at least somewhere around April 25th. Okay, so that was a month for this issue to get cleared up. I do know that other celebrities were involved with this little mess up. This I do understand. Okay, he had other people working alongside with him. Now, mind you, now that he's gone, nobody seems to give a shit. But I digress. Okay, the point is that it's unrealistic to think that I'm going to sit here and wait around and wait around and wait around. So I have to, instead of jumping into creating content, I have to re-strategize my plan. And see, the thing is, I'm angry about this because when it comes to me choosing a platform, okay, the idea is for me to show loyalty to that platform because I've already been there. Okay, I don't like saying, just like you guys mess with my YouTube channel, I have to create another channel, I have to do this, I have to do, it's too much. Okay, and I understand, I'm going to bring this issue up because I understand that relates to bloodline targeting. That's what it is. Okay, a lot of people get brought back from people that you felt like you wanted to compete with from a long time ago. I don't want to compete. I have zero interest in competing. Zero. Okay? I need to make a living. Okay? And I know that I've been chased out of the 9 to 5. I'm done with the 9 to 5. Okay? I have long forgotten about that. I am no longer physically and mentally capable of managing the 9 to 5. I do not believe I am not going to waste my time with extensive advertising. Why? Because people already know who I am. I am not going to sit here and waste time with excessive logo making, because you guys all know exactly that I've made a decent amount on Patreon, and you guys always want to sit here and make some sort of excuse as to why. I'm a success. That's what it is. I'm successful. And it's because, and if you are really sorry about this, you would stop your game playing. Okay? Now, so at the moment, right now, I need to re-strategize. And I've made this issue before. I mean, I mentioned this before, okay, which shocked the heck out of me when I found out that you guys had some sort of involvement on Patreon after I left the 9 to 5. And then I went to Patreon, and then there was slow stagnation there, okay? I understand that you guys wanted to compete with me, and I also understand that Gemini 14 had a lot to do with this, and I know this. Okay, that's not the point. My point is, for right now, I'm thinking about, I need to strategize, and I do not need any more people thinking that you can throw wrenches in my plan. Okay, you guys all claim to be, at least in public sector or among yourself, acting as if you guys, and I don't know if you guys are sincere or you guys are just saying this, but you guys do recognize the fact that I didn't deserve the crap that you guys laid out for me. Okay, so at this point, I need to restructure. I cannot sit here and allow myself to go without money for any longer. Okay, because I don't believe people should be waiting around, sitting around being helpless. There's nothing about that in my body or in my mind to sit there and think that that's acceptable. It's not acceptable. You know, I'm a fighter, meaning I'm a fighter for my own life. I'm not a fighter for competition. And that's not the point. Again, I understand that you guys like my skills, and you guys are somewhat impressed with me. And you guys also, I know that you guys, I know Capricorn 9, you have an interest in the occult and all this other stuff, and I fully get it. This is not for me trying to compete. It's just, it's rightfully mine. It's rightfully mine. It's my skill, it's my talent, it's my passion, and it's my right to do it. So this weekend, I need to figure things out. All I can tell you right now is that and I'm not in any way trying to be discreet about anything, but I am trying to formulate another plan. And I do plan on keeping Patreon, because I do know that I've made money on Patreon, and you know what? I expect to have every single last bit of that. But the problem with it is, here's my problem with this. Okay, once you guys have damaged my business model several times. Several times, okay? First of all, it started when you guys decided to interrupt my Patreon channel for the first time. Okay, that was wrong. Number one, okay? Then I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and split the account. The account should have been taken care of, like, right there on the get-go. Should have been done right then and there. Okay, why? Because it's mine. Okay, we're talking about laws here. I understand Justin Hayward thought that he had some sort of authority. He didn't have any authority at all. Okay, and nobody should have ever had any right to say that, or that they had any. I would have never trusted him to do that. But the point is, I understand that this company is working on separating stuff or whatever, but it's been 7 months, and the main goal is to withdraw my money. That's what it is. Okay, that is the main goal. It's, I understand that, you want to have things separate. You want to do this, but I have only been concerned about withdrawing my funds. That is the only thing I have made any sort of comment about when it came to this issue, especially in the last few weeks. Okay? And I still continue to deal with the trauma. I still continue to, I know that, see, the part is, and I'm not trying to point fingers, because we all know I'm not going to take any responsibility for this, like, at all. Zero, none, zilch. Okay? Okay, I'm not somebody who feels as though I need to compete against people that I had issues with, or my ancestors had issues with years ago. Okay, because I just don't see any point or value in it. I don't have the same vendettas that my what do you call it, my emperor father did whatever years ago. Okay, do I think that the whole issue sounds a little weird to me? It kind of does, because I get you guys like magical artifacts. I am not an artifact. I'm a human being. Okay, Whether you, I mean, you might be focusing on my DNA and all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, I bleed, I eat, I drink, I sleep, I do the things that humans do. And I don't have, what do you call it? I've never had anything in me that, made me want to lash out at people that, because I wasn't even aware at first. And now that I am aware about this issue with the emperor and all this other stuff, I have to question that whole like relationship, between the emperor and the Victoria, because obviously from what I can see is that there's a lot of there's a power play, a power struggle. Okay, and I'm never into that. I literally just want to mind my own business and live within the occult and focus on my shit, and that's all I care about. That literally is all I care about. So I get the feeling that people are interested in me um, um, dating and all this other stuff. That's really not a priority of mine, but my main issue right now is focusing on what am I going to do now that Justin Hayward screwed up my Patreon account. That's what I'm new to do. Okay, I need to figure out my plan B. And see, I wanted to be able to keep my 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 account with Patreon. I don't want to sit here and look for other platforms because I invested in Patreon. But see, this, you make me, because of this issue, this foolish issue. This is why I'm telling you why this sort of stuff is stupid. Why your intrusion, and I'm talking about Justin. I don't care. I'm going to throw out his name. I'm going to stomp on his name. I'm going to spit on his name, and I'll spit on his grave. Okay, I really don't give a shit about that man. Okay, this is the way it is at this point. I'm the kind of person, I am like the most understanding person you can possibly ever imagine, okay? But when you step on my ability to provide for myself or my family, that's where I draw the line, okay? And so I'm angry at this whole situation. And when it comes to me, feeling sorry for Justin, I really don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for any man that financially abuses a woman, ever, and nor will I. I am not going to focus too much on advertising, but people already know who I am, and I'm not going to fall for any sort of like lies or deception by people trying to trick me into thinking that I need to advertise or I shouldn't be disappointed if I don't make a lot of customers. People know who I am. People know who I am. So I'm not falling for it. I don't want to hear any more deception. And the reason why I don't want to hear any deception is because I've had enough of people playing mind games, even the smallest, at this point. Mind you, because if somebody claims to be my friend, they're going to make sure that I never have to deal with that kind of trauma. I will tell you, when my sister Lisa lied to me, and I knew that she was lying to me when I was asking her why was she concerned about I knew that she was manipulating my employment. I felt like shards of glass were going through my brain. I felt like, why are you deceiving me? How could you play with something that fucking important? That is my ability to take care of myself. Do you honestly think you should be minimizing that? And that trauma just was too much for me. That's why I'm telling people, I'm not putting up with game playing. I'm not playing with any of that. Or anybody who's going to sit here and try to distort a reality in the slightest way. Okay? I don't want any part of that. Okay? Because I've dealt with that. And to me, anybody who tries to pull that over me at this point is only doing it to be malicious. Okay? Because I've dealt with it too much. So, my point is, I have not figured out this plan of how I'm going to deal with my whatever. But just understand that whatever I choose to do, please stay out of it. Do not think that you have the right to come in and invade whatever I'm doing at this time. Okay? I need to this arrangement that you guys are slowly handling, it's not doing it. It's not effective enough. Okay, it's not effective enough. Okay, all I care about is getting my money, and that's all I care about. That's it. And it's my heart, it's my money. Okay? It's my money. So, what else did I want to talk about? I get the feeling that no one's plotting against me, but I want you guys to also to understand. This goes for anybody who's watching my videos, my video, is that I have been in a mind control program that was orchestrated. You guys all know it's a Nazi orchestrated program in which people had things organized in a way where people were lying to me and thinking that it was a part of because it was a part of the experiment. Okay, so a lot of it involved deception, whether that be setting up job interviews or whatever, or messing with my paid things like Justin Hayward messing with my accounts and stuff like that. He had no right to. Okay, but a lot of it requires, or at the time during the experiment, it involved a lot of people lying to me, deceiving me, or trying to make things appear the way that they weren't, distorting realities, okay? If anybody comes up to me and tries to distort my reality in any way, that means a fake email, a fake whatever. You know, if I'm talking to you and you're sitting here trying to act like you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, I really can't use you in my life right now. Okay? Now, I'm not sitting here trying to put people on the spot and try to grill them. I'm not going to sit here and ask them, hey, were you a part of my targeting? I don't plan on doing anything like that. But at the same time, I'm not going to have, this is one thing you are not going to do. You are not going to send, anybody is not going to be sending around people what I consider to be informants, asking me questions or having people say certain things on anyone's behalf. Because that's exactly what the experiment was. That's exactly what the experiment did. Okay? And I'm not going to have it. So if somebody starts, I mean, unless of course it's a genuine comment or question, if you say something stupid that you even try, I mean, I'm talking about anybody, says something that's going to trigger me just in the slightest way, expect to fucking get your head ripped off. Period. Now, not physically because I'm not going to jail, but I will sit here and I will just completely tear you down and I don't care where I am. Okay? I'm done with the experiment. And I'm done with people trying to deceive me. I'm not going to put up with it. Okay? So I am not going to deal with people who are going to sit here and act like, oh, well, you need to advertise more. Every goddamn person knows who I am. Every goddamn person knows who I am. Okay? If you or anybody who owns a business, whatever, you know who I am. Okay? So I don't want people sitting here trying to create the illusion that there's something that Maria did wrong. I've had free advertisement from you guys, you know, sitting here exploiting me for years. Okay? Everybody fucking knows who I am. So, what else do I want to say? So I'm not dealing with it. So when it comes to YouTube, you know, I don't know. A part of my strategy, I don't know. I need to re-strategize. This is not working out, okay? I have the right to live, okay? And I do. And I don't, I think the whole issue of you guys wanting to battle or feel like you guys need to beat somebody or win a game, especially, I'm going to tell you, the competition that you guys like to set, it's not fair. It's not on equal footing. Obviously not. Okay, you're in a position of power, and then what you do like to do is you like to torment people. You like to torture people. You must like to do it. You must like enjoy that sort of stuff, which is one of the reasons why I'm not comfortable with you guys. Okay, so I do understand that, you know, Justin Hayward is now, I don't care about covering his name, and I'm not going to because I don't have any respect for him. Okay, so he left out of my life in a very humiliated manner, and I'm glad. You know what I mean? And I'm not a malicious person by any means. I am not a malicious person. Okay? But anybody who can do this to a woman deserves to get what he got. And he deserves more than that. Okay? I only wish I couldn't have killed him myself. The next thing is, I get the feeling that I'm going to refer to you guys as the pyramid peeps. You guys do understand that, you know, when it comes to being considered a friend, that you guys are not worthy of me. I fully get that, okay? But like I said, you know, I think we should have peace, okay? I do understand that, I think I mentioned him earlier. Cancer 21? Is it Cancer 20? Yeah, 21. You're born the same day as the solstice or whatever. That's how I remember your birthday. You know, I don't want to keep an argument going, okay? It looks like the argument was based on the experiment, which was extremely abusive and shocking to me. It was extremely shocking to me. It was disturbing, inappropriate, and wrong. And the reason why Justin Hayward thought that he could sit here and do the things that he did is because it was based on the experiment or influenced by the experiment. And I understand you want me to focus only on spiritual things and you would rather me not do anything, but everything that you do, Pyramid Peeps, is extremely abusive to me. Everything. From the me making requests, you guys messing up with my, I don't know if it was you, along with Justin Hayward, that decided to mess up with my YouTube or whatever. I am at a point right now where I'm going to have to re-strategize everything, and I would really appreciate it if you would stop the game playing. Like I said, anything that relates to head games, lying, distorting, making anything look or appear any way that it's not at this point, I am not putting up with it because I'm going to assume that you have some sort of murderous intent. I will not put up with it. Like I said, I know I've had to deal with comments from people in the store saying things a long time ago. If somebody says something stupid to me, I am not going to think twice about it. I will literally tear them apart. Not physically, but I'm going to tear them apart with words. You do not want to make any mistakes with me at this point. I'm glad the experiment is over. I do get this message, okay? It has something to do with me working with paint and the clay experiment. Now, I don't know if it has something to do with, let me see, I'm trying to get a reason why that is significant because it's been popping up all day. The issue of working with the paint. I know maybe it was because Justin Hayward, I am throwing out his name. I'm gonna dog his ass forever. You know why? Because right now I'm feeling very frustrated because I didn't appreciate the work that I put into everything, and the very fact that you guys sit here and watch my videos on my channel, okay, and I'm not getting. I feel disrespected by you guys. Okay, I feel completely disrespected, and the fact that I'm having to redouble my efforts, and the fact that I'm having to re-strategize, and it makes me angry because, like I said, I only wanted to have one platform account. I didn't want to have two. And see, you guys put me in situations where I'm constantly having to do this, and it is malicious. It is malicious, and I don't appreciate it. Okay. What else did I want to say? No one. Oh, okay. Yeah. No one is really aware. Oh, yeah. I want to talk about, this issue of being in this program, dealing with the experiment, and the rights, the mistakes that were made. I think I pretty much covered that in the last video that I made. I was talking about rights and talking about how it really shocks me that so many people are completely ignorant and unaware of these things, okay? And it's very difficult and frustrating for me because I was sitting here the entire time as I made these videos since 2015, shocked, terrified, and disturbed, thinking that it was on a local level. Meaning, like, I thought, okay, I knew people like Karen Go knew what was going on. I knew that Harvey Hall knew what was going on. Okay, and I knew that the very fact that when Harvey Hall was still alive at the time, the whole issue about religion, it was shocking to me. Even though I knew that this was a kind of a racist community. Okay, I still was shocked that somebody would actually think that they could pull this this one off. Mainly because I thought, doesn't everybody know that this is like a major? This is shocking. It's shocking, right? I had made several videos about it, okay? But people were so hell-bent. And maybe they were hell-bent on winning because they thought because you guys were such important people that it was an okay thing to do. Okay, this is a wake-up call to a lot of people about why we have to question authority, why there should be checks and balances in government. Right? Because that's what they're supposed to be. And you initiated something that violated just about every law you can possibly think of, and people are just sitting here going along with it. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. So, yes, I am going to be re strategizing, okay? And I am not leaving Patreon, but I should not have to sit here. See, here's the thing. By me re-strategizing, okay, there's a possibility that Patreon is not going to be able to make the income off my videos if I was to re-strategize. See, and but you guys put me in situations where I have no fucking, no other way of thinking about it. You guys create too many problems. And I'm going to hold you all accountable, not just Justin Hayward. Why? Because you guys wanted me to be involved in a relationship. That's why. And it was all your fucking plan to sit here and have me with somebody. And now that he got what he deserved, everybody's sitting here trying to like, oh, well, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Everybody's pointing at everybody's finger and everything else. Okay, I don't have time for it. I don't. I don't have time for it. What I do need to focus on is, and I need to make this very clear, please stop causing your problems. Okay, I don't want to be a part of your experiment, obviously, and I'm not interested in competing with you. What I am trying to do is create solutions. Okay, now all this time, the very first thing that most people would have done, they would have said, you know, I'm going to go ahead and find another platform or do something else. Okay, because in good faith, I kept thinking, again, this is an issue that involves Justin Hayward, a bunch of other people, and I'm being very kind by covering your name, okay? Mind you, I don't care about throwing out Justin Hayward's name, okay? But, because he's, you know, whatever, all right? But I don't care about throwing out his name. And he got what he deserved anyway. But all this time, it's like, I felt as though I needed to be very diplomatic and I needed to be fair. So I made these videos explaining, hey, this is a situation. I need my money. Okay? And I know I made money. Okay? And I made money quickly. And see, this is why I feel as though people, the pyramid peeps, were basically a little bit angry because they kept thinking in the back of their mind, well, that's not fair. Yes, it is fair. It's called success. That's what it's called. It's what makes a person success and other people not. That's just the way it is. Okay? And here comes Justin Hayward with his bullshit, thinking that he had some sort of right to say something, wanting me to be married to him and all this other shit, or at least acting some sort of partnership. Okay? I don't merge those two. That is my right. You know, that's my pursuit of happiness. That's my right. And obviously my rights are violated. Okay? Now, I wanted to make this very clear. There are several books on the law, and there are several laws on the books that protect my rights on that issue. Okay? And this is what I'm trying to say is like, okay, I'm regrouping this time. I do not expect anybody to follow me. Okay? But my point is like my what you guys did and what you need to take responsibility for, and what I'm upset about is that I cannot have a business relationship or an exclusive business relationship with Patreon under these conditions. A person would be stupid to continue that. Right? To sit here and say, well, I'm going to wait around. I don't have time for that. Okay, and I'm being honest, I'm being fair, and I want to be respectful to Patreon, but how else am I supposed to? Because we all know that this is supposed to be some sort of covert thing. Okay, I'm done with covert. Okay, because you know what covert means? It means it's associated with something that related to, at one point, what? The experiment. Okay, I'm done. All right, so I'm letting them know, and you guys know, hey, this isn't acceptable. Okay, and what I wanted to do was, I wanted to partner with them exclusively. Okay, by you interfering with this issue, now that makes it so that I'm going to be putting myself into different spots. And now eventually I would have to figure out who gets what. Now, I'm not interested in singing, and I do believe that that was your one of your POTS employees. I don't have any interest in being a singer at all. Okay, and I understand that's my money. It's my money, okay? And you continue to play with it all the time, and it's just, I'm done, okay? So, out of respect for Patreon, you know, I'm basically saying, you know what? I'm not trying to be, hang on a second. I'm not trying to be tear apart my agreement with Patreon. Okay, and this is why you affected my business model so much, because when I set the prices for 15 and 10, then that got screwed up. Okay, but now it's been too long. Okay, and I feel as though I've given everybody an adequate time. I've given everyone an adequate time to get this taken care of. Okay, the fact is, my money should have been available for withdrawal. I would say it should have been months ago. Okay, and for the people who have been supporting me on Patreon, I want to thank you very much. Continue to reach out to Patreon. In the meantime, I need to re-strategize, okay? And I hope that you'll support me in whatever decision I make, okay? But it bothers me because businesses are not being conducted correctly. Patreon, and I say this with all due respect, I am not in any way trying to disrespect you. You know good and well what I've been through, okay? But the fact is that my relationship, I wanted to work exclusively with you. Okay, now we have all these people in the mix. Okay, and now what does that force me to do? It forces me to look for what? Other options too. Because I'm not going to sit here and be like, okay, well, I don't have an income. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of that. Do you honestly think it's fair? Do you honestly think it's fair for me to sit here and wait around all this time, right? I mean, what would you do? I'm going to ask you, what do you think you would do? I don't think you would do that, right? You wouldn't wait around. So I have to make those decisions. All right. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. And I'm being, you know why I'm bringing this up. Okay. I'm the kind of person, I can't sit here and feel like I'm not being productive, especially when my resources are being depleted. I need to make money. I have to. I shouldn't even have to say it. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Anybody would know that. Okay. So, but it bothers me because of outside intrusion. And what bothers me, I hate to say it, Patreon, is the fact that you kind of allowed that to happen. So I mean, it would have been nice if you had some sort of rules in place, or you were at least not. You could put, what do you call it? A tighter control over your business practices would be nice. Okay, and I am not in any way trying to start a fight. It's just that I understand what was put in place was a covert operation. Okay, so I have to tiptoe my way of communicating with you, which I've communicated with you via email, and I did not receive a response. Okay, as a company, especially since I understand what I've done for your channel, okay, it would have been better and preferable had you responded to my email, okay, but you didn't. And I understand you're working with certain individuals and you're trying to do all this stuff, but at the same time, I'm not putting up with anything that seems covert, secretive, or anything that's going to trigger any sort of memories of me dealing with that experiment. Okay, it's been a very, very hard time. Okay, but I also want you to understand, though, that this sort of business practice is not acceptable. Okay, I wanted to work exclusively with you. Exclusively with you guys. Okay, but now that's going to be a loss on you guys' part. See, this is not appropriate. It's not appropriate. Um, so anyway, yeah, I do have to make other plans. So, what else do I want to say? Um, let me just do something really quick. You know, and I don't want to come off like sounding like I'm nagging or whatever, but you know, if you were in this situation, okay, where everybody, it's their responsibility, right, to try to hide and pretend that they weren't a part of the experiment and everything like that. I get that, okay, especially the shame that's involved in all of this. But at the same time, I have the right to move on, and I have the right to sit here and put things in motion, the wheels in motion for me to move forward. Okay, so how do I do that? I got to make the first step, and this is what I'm doing. Okay, I have to address it at some point, and this is what I'm doing. All right, what else do I want to talk about? I am very frustrated. I think tomorrow I will be figuring out exactly how I'm going to be making those steps. This delays a lot of things, okay? And Patreon, I really wish that you would hurry up getting this ready, because there's people I really want to work with, and I can't. at the moment. Okay, that's not cool. Okay, what else do I want to say? Um, what do you mean? Um, I do understand that there's a lot of people, this issue about people being bullied. I don't condone any of that. The whole racial issue. I know that because this had Nazi origins and everything, I do understand that a lot of white people participated in it. Okay, because they were kind of like rooting for the Nazis, and now some of these people who were doing it are getting their just desserts. Okay, um, it's sad. I look at it this way, okay? If you knew what you were doing and you're one of those people who are getting bullied, I'm sorry, I am not condoning it in any way, okay? But you know what, let this be a lesson to you. Okay? All I wanted to do from the very get-go was number one, not be a part of this experiment, even though I didn't know it was an experiment. What I wanted was just to be left alone. I didn't ask for this. Everything that happened to me was just like already shocking enough, and I certainly would not have I would have never volunteered for this experiment. Okay, it's obviously a humane thing. It's obviously something illegal, and it's obviously shocking. It violates every single law from this country to any sort of law that would be on some sort of international list or whatever. It's shocking. Okay, and yet we had people who claim to be educated that were involved in it. Okay, I understand that this proves a lot of points. This is one of the reasons. I mean, I could have made flipping the experiment longer than fucking 3 hours. Actually, it was actually close to 4 hours, but I could have made it longer. All right, what else do I want to talk about? Yeah, I understand that, and I want to you guys to understand that why I'm saying this. I'm saying this because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do to try to clear the air, to try to make sure I'm understood. I would like, when it comes to the pyramid peeps, you guys have shown me several times that you guys do not, and I know it has a lot to do with you guys feeling that you want to compete against people that you looked upon as your rivals. Stop looking at me as a rival. I do not want to play your game at all. I do not look at you as a rival. I do in a sense of looking at you guys as some people that makes me feel extremely uncomfortable based on everything that I've experienced. Of course. Of course I'm going to. This is a Nazi experiment that you kind of orchestrated. Not orchestrated in a sense where like you're like Joseph Mengele, but you allowed this to happen. Right? So it's only normal that I'm going to feel kind of like an aversion to you. And what else do I want to talk about? Let me see if there's any messages that I have. I think that's pretty much it. I needed to say that, and I want to make sure that you guys understand that. All right. You guys have put a lot of wasted my time. And I'm referring to the people who were like, talking on shit on social media, stirring up the collective conscious group of, participating in my gang stalking. This relates to the people who are like employers, neighbors, the people within the community, the senators, blah, 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 all the way down the line. Okay. I could never allow myself to participate in something that's inhumane. I mean, I'm like really shocked and disturbed by the entire thing. Um, I guess I do. I know a lot about ethics, and I do know a lot about the law. I've always been that way, and I'm usually very quiet about those sort of things. I think just the very fact that we're here 11 years after leaving the Murray family farms place, after everything I've been through, it's just absolutely disgusting. And I will say that it has made me very disgusted with people. So I think that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. So tomorrow I need to figure some things out. I hope you guys understand. Patreon, I am in no way trying to cause any division or anything, but you also need to understand, that I have a responsibility to myself, and I also understand that this put me in a very bad situation because of what Justin Hayward did. Okay, Justin Hayward really had no right to do what he did, and I do know that it was racially motivated and very sexist motivated, and I felt extremely violated and terrorized when I came to the understanding of what was going on. Okay, um, I need my money to be available, but like I said, in the meantime, I need to re-strategize and do something else. Okay, I hope that you understand that when you're dealing with these business partnerships, that you should be taking care of your customers. Okay, and especially if you have a customer that is generating a lot of income for you, then I think it's your responsibility to make sure that you cater to them, because otherwise it's bad business practice. Okay, I do get the feeling that um, um, the pyramid peeps, the top of the pyramid guy has something to do with it. Um, he, like I said, he really shouldn't have done what he did. Okay, especially since the experiment was such an abusive thing. I'm just shocked the whole way around. Okay, if you're interested in keeping this business partnership, then, exclusive. I really don't even have time to give people second chances. Could you please make my funds available for withdrawal? Okay, and I'm asking Libra, what is his name? Gemini 14, as well as Scorpio 20 to put the wheels in motion and make it go faster. In the meantime, I don't have time to mess with this. I need to you look at other options. I've given you guys plenty of time. It's not like I haven't mentioned it enough times, okay? But it's just taking too long. So anyway, what else do I want to say? Talking about what you mean, like my, sorry, I'm getting a lot of messages coming through my mind right now. I guess people wanted me to explain me being independent, or me being wanting to make my own living. Obviously I'm not working 9 to 5 anymore. I do not have any interest in like really doing a whole lot of things outside of my home. This whole thing affected me, so I decided to look for places that I can get paid for my content. And it's completely legal, and that's what I chose to do. I know that you guys want me to focus mainly on spiritual issues, and I think there was some sort of issue with you feeling like wanting white people to have more to do with my projects than um, you wanted white people to be more involved in my projects, mainly because of your need to promote white supremacy. I obviously have, white people that I want to work with, okay? But my work is my work, okay? And everybody knows my work is my work. And I know that there's been a lot of people who go out of their way to try to suppress that, or try to hide the fact, or make me seem small or whatever. And if you sit here and do this and claim that you guys act like you guys want to be my friend, but you guys don't show it. You know what I mean? So, anyway, I don't have time for hypocrisy, double talk, double speak, people who act as if, they say one thing, they mean another. I don't have any time for any form of deception, covert, overt, whatever. Okay, I'm a person who dealt with a Nazi experiment for decades. Okay, and I am now trying to go out into the world and develop relationships with people, and I can't start off on a bad foot. Meaning, if people really care about me, they're not going to sit here and try to pretend any of that bullshit, or try to get anything on over me. I don't want anyone trying to deceive me in any way at all. Okay? Because this is a very sensitive subject. And in order for me to heal, I'm simply not unable to deal with it. So, I'm going to wrap up this video. I think I said everything I had to say. I've been running my mouth for an hour. No hard feelings, you guys, okay? Let's just keep this open. Everybody knows that this is a very public issue. Everybody knows it's a public issue. So, I think I'm doing the right thing, and I think I'm handling things the best way I possibly can. Mind you, this is an issue that could get people, and we already know that a lot of people are gone because of this issue, okay? All because of something wicked, okay? So I'm trying to make some order out of chaos in the best way I possibly can, in a very touchy situation where people are trying to handle things in, you know, kind of quietly and trying to not take the blame for stuff. All I'm saying is this is the way it is, and this is how I need things to be because I need to move on. So I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope everyone has a good night. For those who are working in this week, tomorrow is the middle of the week, and hopefully that should ease your pain just a little bit. I'll be back with another video sometime later. Take care. Good night.